Everybody, welcome back to Buddy Pass Podcast, episode 33. Almost fucked that one up because after missing last week, I'm a little discombobulated, but like always, presented to you by the Mass Perspective. Some of their other podcasts are coming back now with like the NFL coming back, things like that. So they're doing some stuff over there. Check them out if you haven't. But anyways, time to talk a little bit of hockey, kind of downtime in the NHL, but we'll make it interesting for you. Fellas, what is up? I've missed you guys dearly in my life.
Oh, so has this podcast.
I listened to
Jesus
last week's episode.
Christ.
Yeah.
Dude, I was just like, it was Wednesday, so it was the second day after my surgery. I'm just like laying in bed, like so much pain. I'm oxyed up, like the pain meds, listening to like my boys just hold down the fort over here at Buddy Pass.
I think it was a great episode in terms of what we talked about. I thought we had some good takes and it was pretty informative, but
Not
just
a lot of spice.
there was it was bland. That was as bland as 3 of my meals every day. And I eat chicken and rice 3 times a day. So
and you prep them all too.
It was bland as shit. But it was
I liked it though. I mean, coming from like a person like also just an avid hockey fan who just like likes to hear about people talk hockey. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that aspect a lot. I think you guys did a good job at that.
Thank you.
How's your recovery going?
Dude, I've been in a fucking dark room for 8 days now. 8 days.
For those of you listening on Spotify or Apple Pods, Raff is legitimately wearing an eye patch, and not ironically either. He has to wear it because he has a light on his face right now.
Yes, and it's either do I go full Marks of Art mode more than I usually do and just cut the lights off. I think the people need to see my face. It's been a week since they've heard my beautiful voice. Least I can do is show some face too.
I think a lot of people can go without seeing your face. The voice is okay.
Yeah, you'd be surprised though. You'd be surprised. I got a weird fanning going on my side of the court.
Small doses,
yeah.
Oh, speaking of fans, I heard a really funny joke today. Do you guys want to hear it?
Yeah, sure.
So why are sporting events or like sporting
the
arenas,
joke?
Yeah, let me get there. Why are sporting events or like sports stadiums or arenas always so cold and windy? Because they're full of fans.
All right, how do I kick him off this Zoom?
Yeah, what button is it again? Is this the red button at the bottom? Leave? Yeah, I wouldn't mind that right now.
I'm not making you a co-host anymore.
I have to record.
You could be a fan. You could be a fan for now.
Come on, that was pretty good.
Dude.
It was clever.
I did see it, so I'm like what I've had to do if I'm on my phone, just like cover this eye, just make sure nothing gets in there. And I'm using my right eye, the one that already got surgery on it, kicking at like 80% right now, the eye that's not patched up. And I'm clicking through your for those of you that don't know, AIDS also has a fitness account too, so multimedia guy over here.
_ACC fitness _ great content, trust your process, great vibes.
Yeah, no free ads though. But so then I'm clicking through and you're talking about too, this has made my day, how the dude at the oh my god, the gate at our school, he's like, how are you always so cheery and happy? And you're just like giving the whole rundown about life. Great perspective, but I'm sitting in a room so mad and miserable, and I'm like, fuck this kid. I'm like so mad at you for being happy. I'm like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, the story is, for those of you that know me or have met me, I'm like a very positive, outgoing guy. I have a lot of energy.
You can tell from the podcast, though, I would say.
I hope so. Well, actually, funny you say that. My girlfriend Emily, she said whenever she listens to the pod, she's surprised at how much I swear, how much I say the F word.
Yeah, that's probably just like the. Yeah,
so
yeah, that's actually right. You don't really like
you
swear.
Still swear
a
a pretty good amount. I feel.
No,
like.
I don't know.
I thought so
living
too.
Living with you though, I don't really remember you being like fuck or like shit.
But you can be a very positive person and still swear a ton, just using it in a positive way.
I know.
Like, I fucking go.
Yeah, I think she was just saying it, it caught her off guard. But anyway, I digress. The story goes like I go to the gym after work every day, so I always get back at like 8 or 9 o'clock. And Assumption University is a gated campus, so there's always like an officer sitting at the gate letting us in. And so there's this one guy that I see all the time, and I pull up this one night, and he goes, "Why are you?" He used the word chipper. He said, "Why are you always so chipper?" Stupid and this is like a 30-year-old man. It's not even an old guy. Yeah. Chipper. like
Never heard
happy
it.
happy
Little
chip or
ship
whatever.
off the old block.
Never heard it used in that way.
Yeah, it was
Interesting.
weird. 30 years old, not even 70. It was weird. But I was like, I'm alive. Like fucking another day to do what I love. And I know it's a cheesy ass answer, but it's true.
Stupid.
I just have
What is there to be
different,
sad about?
right? That's the
Well, I
perspective you
feel
have to
like
have on
there-
life.
Yeah.
That's so facts though. I'm more of like an ebbs and flows guy though.
No, I feel that too.
You know what I mean? You gotta just meet in the middle a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I was just like, man, how does he do it, man?
I honestly,
That must
I
be
don't even know.
exhausting. That must be exhausting.
You cut the hair too, AIDS.
I did
Oh
cut the hair.
yeah, thank
Yeah,
God.
I have no ponytail anymore.
How long has it been since the last one? How long did you grow it out for?
So that was technically my quarantine hair. I got it very, very slightly trimmed last July, and then I got it very, very slightly trimmed back in this past May. So
Like, what was the point of like growing this bitch out?
like what was the point of it?
No, like what point? Like what month? How many? Like a year? How much time ago
Oh.
was it since you started growing it out? Because it was long, dude.
So it was before COVID. So before my haircut a year ago, last July, like July of 2020,
Yeah.
I hadn't cut it since January of 2020.
Jesus.
So I let it grow for 7 months. I then let it grow for almost a year without getting any kind of haircut again. I cut it this past May 2021, and then I just buzzed it all off. So
Damn. I think it looks good though, dude. Reminds
Thank
me
you.
of freshman year.
I was gonna.
Freshman year, you had that
It's
cut.
freshman AIDS.
It's like baby AIDS. You kind of look smaller though with the haircut.
Yeah.
all right, bud.
Sure you didn't shave off some muscle with it?
All right, bud. All right, bud. Get a load of this guy sitting in a dark room. You
What are you
handicap.
talking about, me? What are you talking about?
You should have handicaps, dude. How about you go look at the sun?
Why? Why would anybody do that? It's a stupid thing to do.
I don't want to, but I have the option. I can. You can.
You're gonna flex on the sun?
Yeah.
All right. Get the wings up there. Start flying away.
You making fun of my lats?
The wings.
Yeah, my lats.
The wings.
Buffalo wings?
Oh,
Speaking of the wings, want to get right into some hockey action? They just had a big old
Absolutely.
signing.
The Detroit Buffalo Wings?
Oh, dude, stop, dude.
food connoisseur.
Jacob Vrana signed a little
Jakob.
Jakob Vrana signed a little extension on for was it 3 years for about 5.25 a year?
Yeah.
Honestly,
5.25
dude,
AAV.
I fucking love this kid. I
do
love
like
this
him.
kid's game. I think one of the things that goes really like under the mic about him too is like he's so good 5-on-5, and I feel like that's such like a that's a hard thing to do in the NHL, let alone score a goal. Is 5-on-5 and how efficient he is there. Like he just uses like he's more of like a beat you off the rush, come in with speed and kill you type.
Mhm.
But scoring goals 5-on-5 has never been a problem for him. I think he's up there. In the last 3 seasons, I think he's right behind, what is it, Ovi and Matthews for 5-on-5 goals produced per 60.
Wow.
That doesn't surprise me. He
No,
lit it up.
He's
He
good.
lit it up
dude.
in Washington. He was such a really great like a top 6 forward.
And granted,
Hattie
he only played 11 games for Detroit, but he's a point per game when he was
Yeah.
there.
Hattie in his first game in there, right?
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
And then he had like 2 in the next one.
Yeah.
That's
his
sick,
first
Came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He had that sick goal too in the breakaway. I think his second game. He just kind of like pop shove it, just
I think I
drop the
remember,
shoulder,
yeah.
just drop the shoulder, fucking big.
Did you just say
Mass.
pop shove it?
Yeah, good tune.
Is that a Hot Mulligan reference?
Yeah, good tune. I'm going to that concert in December, dude. I can't wait.
No way.
Can't
That's
wait.
right.
I was gonna go to this other summer fest in Worcester the 9th, but I think it just kind of like I don't know fizzled out with the dudes I'm going. So
I'll
that's
go
a
with you.
shame. We can do it, dude. It's
When is it?
September 9th. We're making plans just live on air. It's like, yeah, you want to do that? Yeah.
That's
if,
a
any
Thursday.
if any fans want to show
Yeah,
up,
oh my god, meet and greet. It's a bunch of bands
Yo.
like Movements, The Main, Story So Far, all those boys, all those bands.
dude, my buddy Tino loves the story so far.
Dude, they're so
Dude,
killing
I'd
it.
go. Let's
On the
do it.
9th?
The 9th, yeah. I think tickets are like $60.
Let's
It's
do
a
it.
festival. It's a festival though, so there's like 5 bands. But let's
Yeah,
want to talk
fuck it.
about this. Want to talk about this after?
Yeah,
Though?
we can talk about
the
this
po-
after.
All right,
Okay.
word. But yeah, point is, I don't know what you guys think, but I love Jakob Vrana.
I do too.
I think that's a good signing for Detroit to
Mhm.
kind of get. He's not like a older guy, but definitely had a lot of success. He's got a cup ring. A guy to kind of tie those younger guys together a little bit. Definitely a skilled forward that those guys can learn from. And I think that's a huge thing that the Red Wings need right now is to kind of grow that franchise. Obviously, they've been committed to that rebuild for a while, and Stevie Y is going to lead them to a cup in 8 years or so.
It's inevitable.
It is. And if anybody can do a rebuild like nice and slow, take their time, it's Stevie Y, and it's always going to come out on top. So I think that's a great signing in that regard as well.
He must be a killer cook, dude. All the patience, gets the recipes just
Oh.
right,
No,
cooks it to perfection right on time.
he must make the best s'more. Because think about how like you want to cook a marshmallow, you want that perfect golden brown, soft core, everything like that. Most people just stick it in the fire, burn it, throw it on.
I'm one of those heathens that just sticks it right in there, blows it off.
He probably just sits there for 15 to 20 minutes, slowly rotating that marshmallow.
Nice rotisserie.
And then it's the perfect one. And I bet you he doesn't even eat it. I bet you he gives it to Dylan Larkin. I don't know.
I make the best s'more though.
I got a little turned on.
But I eat it.
That's s'more. S'more
Was
talk.
Was it talking about the marshmallow? Did that get you?
I don't know. When you said the whole rotisserie thing, I perked up a little bit. It's been a slow week here in the room in the dark. You know, a little s'more talk kind of gets me going right now. But can I also talk about another signing that I think is a little under the radar, but we were talking about this right before, is Sharon Govich. That the young where is he from again? Like Latvia or
Belarus.
Even more random.
Belarus.
But like, dude, like for a kid that comes out of a country with I don't think a lot of NHL talent, I liked his game. I mean, being Bruins fans, we played them a lot and they gave us a lot of hell. And that kid can shoot the fucking puck. And I think like that's going to be one of those really nice complementary pieces to a lineup who, you know, if he's on your third line, that's amazing. But I could totally see him just being a complementary piece to like a Jack Hughes type, where Jack Hughes will just be the playmaking little Patty Kane dude he's supposed to be. And Sharon Govich is just shooting the puck. He got signed for, what was it? One year, $2 million?
Two by two.
2 by 2. Okay.
I know. I mentioned him in last week's episode, just when me and Aids briefly talked about the Devils in general. And like I talked about him, like I loved him and stuff, and that was before he was re-signed. I honestly didn't even realize he had to be signed at that time. I thought he was still under contract, but no, I agree. Like whether he plays third line, I honestly think in a lineup like that with such a young group of forwards, he could play on that second line next year out of nowhere if he does what he did this past year, where he looked great, and then eventually, you know, if all things go well after this contract, signs a bigger one and ends up being a big partner with Hughes and Hischier over the years.
But he'll go well with Tatar now too in that lineup.
So I'm looking at on dailyfaceoff.com. I'm looking at their projected lineup. So I see a line of Hischier, Tatar, and Bratt, which I love. That's their
I forgot about Bratt.
That's their second line. First line is Hughes with Sharon Govich on the right, and then Jane Kwakinen.
Oh yeah,
Kwakinen, whatever.
Yeah,
he's a first rounder, I'm pretty sure.
Who another like young stud on that team.
Yeah.
I
thought he was a center though. Is he not playing center?
No, they have him on the wing.
Where's Woods then?
Woods third line with Zaka and McLeod, which I actually like that third line.
I like Zaka, dude. Zaka 9th overall. What was it? 2016, 20. Man, that
I don't even know when.
That kid had the ceiling above him, but that's a nice little roster, dude. They're also kind of like gained some assets. They got Dougie Hamilton now too.
Ryan Graves.
Oh yes,
they picked up Ryan Graves from Colorado, which was nice.
For not really much.
It's Graves and Hamilton on the first pairing, Ty Smith and Severson on the second, and then Siegenthaler, another really good defenseman, with Subban on the third pairing, which I love.
Dude,
I love.
I want Subban to have that breakout year this year so bad.
I called that this year. I thought he was going to have it.
I was looking for.
He was when we did bounce back player nominations in the very beginning of this. Yeah, I thought he had it, man. I don't know. I love that guy too. He ran the fucking league, man. That dude used to be so good. It's a shame, you know. And his contract's up after next year too.
Yeah, it's a contract year, which another reason why he might pop off this year. especially with that team.
That decor is like pretty solid. I mean,
Dude, it's
you're
nice.
spending 19 mil between Hamilton and Subban, but like if you disregard that, it's pretty solid.
That power
Out of
play is gonna
6
be
guys.
lethal too, dude.
Yeah.
You got a
Mhm.
couple snipers in Tatar and Sharon Govich, and then Hamilton and Ty. I don't know if they're gonna split them up and just have 2 power play quarterbacks just on 2 different lines, but man, that's a team I can see do some sneaky damage. Sneaky. I do think they're like that one draft pick away, like
Yeah.
one top 10 guy away though from really making a good core there, but you know, we can move on.
Yeah.
I was gonna bring a couple more defensemen. So we were just briefly. I'll start with what I think is probably going to be the steal of this year's free agency was Adam Pellick getting signed to 8 years at 5.75 AAV.
Yep.
That dude is a definition lockdown defenseman. He is a beast, and you saw it in these playoffs the whole season. But the fact that he carried his play into playoffs, dude, paying him 5.75 AAV, that's insane that they got him for that for the next 8 years.
I think that's the one defenseman contract I've seen all summer long that I genuinely think is perfect. I think it's perfect for both him and the team. I think it's 5.5 is perfect for the game he plays. Obviously, he was awesome in the playoffs this year for the Islanders. I love that deal. 8 years too. Sign me up for the Islanders band.
When the cap goes up too, that's gonna be nothing.
Yes.
Yeah. If I'm him, I'm firing my agent. But but dude, that's just the thing is like I understand that in free agency when the guy's UFA, pardon me, you have to like overpay a little bit, and every guy I see signed overpay. A guy could get literally $1 million and everyone's commenting like overpay. But like, you know, just because everyone else is overpaying, I guess I like how Lou stuck to his guns and really got a guy to sign for that.
Yeah.
Especially I think with Barzell's contract ending soon after his bridge deal a couple of years back. But Adam Pellick, man, that's a guy 26 minutes a night. There's very few people I trust more to shut down the opposing top line.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you saw what he would do against the Bruins forwards in that second round. Like he was a thorn in their sides.
Oh yeah. It's a joke. It looks like he's not even trying to. Like it looks so natural.
Yeah, he's a big fella.
Yeah,
he's no small guy. So I think
like
that's
him with Pollock too. I think that's that's one of the best lines in hockey in the D side.
Pellick and Pollock.
Yeah.
Rolls off the tongue.
They're homegrown too, right? Aren't they homegrown? Homegrown.
I think so.
I believe so. I know. I'm like
I can check
99% sure Pellick is. Pollock, I have no idea though.
I saw I think I texted you guys this a couple just on the terms of homegrown topic. I was looking back just because I'm just so bored in hockey DB in a dark room. The last time a team that won the Stanley Cup without a homegrown drafted developed goaltender was 2007.
Jean-Sebastien Jaguar.
Yes, sir. With the Anaheim
Ducks.
Mighty Ducks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy though?
That caught me by surprise. I asked
14 years.
I asked my buddy Quinn that, like I said that like fact to him, but didn't say when it was and the team it was, see if he could guess it. And it took him a couple minutes to think, but he eventually got it, that it was Jean-Sebastien Jaguar.
Yeah, it's absolutely
sick
crazy.
name.
Yeah.
Pellick and Pollock both homegrown. Ryan Pollock was 15th overall draft pick in 2013, while Pellick was
What year was Pollock?
Hold on, I'm getting there. Pollock was 65th overall in 2012. So they picked Pollock in 2012. They picked. Wait, fuck.
Yeah.
No,
the first one you said was Pollock at 15th overall
in 2013.
There you go.
Pellick was 65th overall in 2012.
There you go.
Too many P's.
Good
Too many
scouting.
P's and Ucks.
P's and Ucks, dude.
That's all life is. But are there any other signings we're forgetting about?
Another big defenseman that got re-signed. 8 by 9.25 for Darnell Nurse.
Dude, you guys can go in
first.
Is in. You guys can go in first. I know, Brett. I know you're a big Darnell guy.
I do. I love Darnell. I mean, he can put up points. He produces the assists like crazy. I mean, yeah, he out there on the ice with McDavid and Draisaitl a lot of the time. So I'm sure that feeds into it. But 9.25 is probably quite the overpay. But I mean, did we see it coming after the Jones situation and some of the others after that? Probably. But I think it was a bit of an overpay. I still do think he's a very, very good defenseman that deserved a bag, just maybe not over the 9 mil line, maybe a little below it.
I honestly think he has the potential to be a 9.25 guy. Is he now, and will he be in the next 2 years? No, not by any means is he worth that contract. But I think he's got a high ceiling. I think he's got a little bit more room to grow his game and mature a little bit. Because correct me if I'm wrong, he's 25.
I believe that's right. Yeah.
Can
Yeah, I
anybody
believe so.
fact check me that?
Yeah.
So he's still, fairly young. No, so I think that's a contract he could grow into for sure and eventually be worth that. Is he 25? Is that what?
26.
26. Okay.
Yeah.
So still, doesn't change my answer. I think he could grow into it, but right now, no, I don't think he's worth 9.2 by any means.
I agree with that too. I think I just don't see him as a number one guy. I think he does have I think he has a lot of tools. I'm just not sure if he really can like build the shed. I used that analogy a while back with Gossespear.
That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you. It's not that I'm hating on him. I just think that, you got his bag, dude. Like, get paid, but if you're on the GM side of things, to me, he's more of like a 7.75 guy, and
Yes.
which is still a lot of money. And you just got to think too, especially with this Oilers organization, a team that struggled to get really good depth players and guys of like complementary pieces to McDavid, Draisaitl, Nuge. They got Yamamoto, but maybe use that money to get a goaltender for once. They haven't had a goaltender in so fucking long, where I just don't see giving that money to Darnell Nurse is gonna pay off anytime soon. I like that they locked him up long term. I think he's going to be a piece there for a while, but I don't see paying him like a number one or even number two right now. I think he's a really good, really, really, really good number three. Can make a case for a number two guy, but he does bring a lot though that not everyone can do, and that's that X factor, that grit, that grind, that sandpaper. I just think when it comes to becoming more, leaving that reactionary state and really anticipating where the puck is going to be, I think he needs to work on that a lot and really, really solidify his defensive game. His shooting percentage is extremely high. Shoot the fucking puck, baby. That's what I love from the blue line. But I don't know. Can he keep it up? Can he build off this? That's my questions going forth.
And I hope I personally, pop off. Personally, I hope he does. Like, I'm rooting for him.
Yeah.
I think that, again, I think he's got the potential. Will he do it? Will he do it in Edmonton is an even bigger question. I have no idea. That's a contract where I see like a buyout in a few years if he doesn't perform that well, or even they try to move him in a couple years. But who knows? That could look like a perfect contract in 3 or 4 years. So I'm hopeful, but
We don't want any bust here on Buddy Pass.
No.
We don't want
No.
to see a guy fail. If you're paid
You
like a
never, you
nine
never
guy,
root for a bust.
no, never. Absolutely never. I mean, I'm still pissed I haven't got drafted, but that'll come soon enough. But in the meantime, the guys that are in the show, we want them to win here.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to continue the theme of our overpayment segment and go to Igor
think
Shesterkin.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
So Igor Shesterkin, did you want to introduce it?
I kind of just wanted to start with him real quick.
Oh, by all means.
Give my thought first. So
Sure.
You guys are so cute.
his was the 4 by
Nice one, Baker.
5.65, which is, I saw on NHL Network, the most money contract AAV and overall contract wise a goalie has ever gotten in their second contract in NHL history.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is
That
the
is
biggest
surprising. That's
goalie
kinda a
in their
little
second contract.
surprising.
And I like Shesterkin. I like what I've seen from him so far. Overpaid, yes, for sure. But they were in the same thing I was watching on NHL Network. They were saying the first 2 years of it definitely overpaid, but maybe in that third and fourth year, we might see that he's worth that 5.65 AAV. Maybe.
Yes.
Again, kind of like we just said, I'm rooting for it to happen. I like him. I like what I've seen from him so far. I hear good things about him. and I want it to happen, but definitely for these first 2 years of that contract, maybe even the third, it's an overpay, which at that point, is it even worth it? I don't know. I mean, I'm glad they locked him up, but overpaid.
So I completely agree. What I think is a pretty good measuring stick. Personally, I would put Samsonov and Shesterkin kind of along this, like a very similar like measuring stick in terms of, skill, technique, all of that. Like I feel like those are two very similar goalies. To put it in perspective, Samsonov yesterday also signed a contract for one year at $2 million. Now, I don't think Shesterkin should have signed a 1 year. I think if it was like a 2x2, that would have been perfect. Because again, I think those goalies are very similar in terms of like their experience in the NHL, as well as what they've shown so far. But yeah, I mean, 5.6, 5.7 is brutal for a guy who's he played his first NHL game this past season. No,
Yeah,
and he only played maybe 12.
Yeah, even a 2x3, I would have been okay
Yes.
with for Shesterkin, just to give him that little extra. But and then after those 2 years, if he's proven that he's going to be worth this 4 or 5 mil, then give him a few more years at that level. But I don't know exactly how the contract is broken down as well throughout those 4 years.
That's what I'm going to look up right now.
I would assume those last 2 years are more than the first two. I'd be surprised if it's not. But yeah.
We'll see. I thought it was weird because the term said bridge deal, but the AAV did not really. I thought it was a really weird, like a 4x5, whatever it was for a goaltender, like you said, out of the second contract. I thought was a little strange. I love him too. I think he's probably one of the best young goaltenders right now. I think his future is super bright. And maybe New York just wasn't really sure if they wanted to give him bridge, lock him up, for even longer. I think that team is I think that team's playoff bound next year. I really like what they have. I think, with their kids getting older, they got the Norris Trophy winner too on their side. That only helps too, your hopes for the playoff. But yeah, really weird deal. And that's not a slight, like I think we've made very clear on Shesterkin. We all love him. Just weird move.
Yeah.
Up by Drury too. Isn't Drury the GM?
I believe so.
Fucking Chris. Stupid name.
I do want to give a little quick shout out to you've mentioned him in like 1 or 2 episodes, Raff, and I love him. Ross Colton signed a little 2x1.1 with the Lightning. Just a solid depth guy. Gonna be great. Scored, I believe he scored the one goal in the cup clinching game this year. Unless I'm thinking of the Islanders series.
No, he did. It was a little little work down from the wall from who was it? Not Shattenkirk.
He's gonna step up when it matters though, and I love him.
Yeah.
Love Ross Colton. Remember the name.
That's a good remember the name. Remember that song?
Dude, great song.
Great fucking tune.
So from what I can see,
Are you looking at the Shesterkin one?
From what I see, he'll get obviously that 5.25 or whatever it is the average cost of what he's going to make per year, but the breakdown looks like 3 million, 6, 7, and then 6.6 repeating. So
damn,
so he's making 3 million this coming year or whenever. This coming year is when that contract kicks in. He'll make 6 million next year, 7 million the year after, and then he'll make 6.66 or 6.67 the year after that. So I guess when you break it down that way a little bit more, he's making 3 million this coming year. I guess it makes a little bit more sense because he's played 35 games. But he has like a pretty much like a 500 record, like 16, 14, and 7, something like that. So nothing standout. And his numbers aren't crazy. I think his goals against was like 292. So I mean that's a decent number right there. But I guess when you look at it in that light, it does make me feel a little bit better. If he's going to be I mean, what does their goaltending situation look like right now? They have Shesterkin and do they still
Is
have
it
Georgiev?
I believe so.
Georgiev.
Yeah.
Are they going to just split time right down the middle? Because neither one of those guys is a bona fide starter.
I feel like they're gonna give this coming year Shesterkin a little bit more, even if it's like 60-40. I don't think it'll be right down the middle. I think Shesterkin will get a tad more, just because they're at least intending for him to be their starter in the coming years. So I think they'll be giving him a little bit more. That would be my guess.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, develop them into the roles that they're gonna have going forward. Like, really develop Georgiev into that backup guy. You know, that's not an easy job when you only get really 20 games in an 82-game season, and you kind of have to be like on your A game those 20 games. You're not really getting as many reps as you would as a starter.
Yeah.
And you know, really just push Shesterkin into really being that number one guy. Another little goalie that got a contract is Callahan. Callahan, little 3 years, weirdest AAV I've seen in my life. 3.979.
Yep.
Just make it 4. Just make it 4.
Basically 3x4.
Yeah.
Or just like 3.9. Go one way or the other. Go down to 3.9 or up to 4.
What did he say? 7.5, and then Carter Hart's just like, no, 7.9 or I walk. But anyways, though, just a good little prove it deal for him. He had that stellar rookie season, and then you know, the wheels kind of fell off for that whole team that last year. Ever since the bubble, kind of the wheels just really fell off. But you know, that's a guy that he's so young and so gifted. I think he's gonna figure it out. Especially with a new decor. I'm not sure improved or not. That's a little too early to tell. But a new decor, a new face, a lot of new life in that whole organization, I think will be really good for him. And hopefully, you know, by the end of it, he gets paid.
Yeah. The other thing is they brought in because they don't have Brian Elliott anymore, who's
don't have Brian.
No, so he's been backing up Carter Hart the last couple of years, but they brought in Martin Jones to back him up. Which, I think when you have a young goalie like Carter Hart or someone like Shesterkin, Sam Snob, Kenzie Blackwood, it's good to just have like one of those veteran guys to back him up who they can learn from. You know, guys
he
who
was lights
been
out
here for 10
years
plus years.
Martin Jones, he had his little run of being on top of the world too.
Yeah, didn't the Bruins have him at one point?
For about 20 minutes,
yeah. For maybe half an hour.
He played like, one period.
Possibly. And then what do? We dropped Tweedledee, Dumb and Dumber in the draft picks we got for him. So yeah, that worked out. Thanks, Martin. You fucking loser. But I hope Carter Hart really just takes the league by the balls and just shuts everyone out. I'll just never forget this year at the Lake Tahoe game. I could see the tears coming from his eyes.
Yeah.
Trent Frederick got his first career goal. A knuckle puck from like from like the top of the circle, like backhanders.
Yeah.
Pastrnak had a hat trick, just ruined him.
To be honest, though, Pastrnak would have got a hat against anybody that day. With the Viper glasses too. The Barbie girl.
Put him outside with Viper glasses, and he's scoring at least 3 goals.
Yeah, he would have got Patrick Waugh kicked out of Montreal for the second time that day. That was just inevitable. He was doing that, but. Yeah, tough day. What else we got, fellas? No, can I just say something real quick? This is not hockey related, even in the slightest. As I was thinking, I was just like listening to some podcasts, and like, he was just making fun of all the people that were like, the whole conspiracy of the moon landing was real. Like the people that are like, oh, it was fake and all that shit.
Yeah.
Who I'm like mad at in that situation is like the government. For like not anticipating that these fucking losers would be like, it's not real, and they just never like specified or did anything. I'm just mad about that, man. I feel like they should have been like
for a lot of things.
Oh yeah,
that's one of them. Yeah,
that just shows my privilege right there. The moon landing could have really, could have been more under wraps, but I mean, they couldn't. You're telling me they didn't anticipate all these tin head dudes like running around saying it wasn't real.
I'd love to ask how and why that just popped into your head right now, but I'm not even gonna bother.
Dude,
I don't know what goes on in your brain, and I don't want to ask.
Tough week in the dark.
You've just been sitting there thinking. You and your thoughts.
Is she pretty because she rips cigarettes, or does she rip cigarettes because she's pretty?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Top question to answer. Another little signing I wanted to talk about was some defenseman who, young kid. Like I thought he was really like gonna come into his own and be like a really like top end young gun prospect on the blue line. Is Nashville's Dante Fabro.
Mm.
He just got re-upped for 2 years, 2.4 a year. And I don't know, man. I kind of love this kid. He kind of gave me like early on like Sam Girard type vibes, and just a nice young defenseman who like I thought had the tools, man. I don't know if he couldn't put the shed together or the batteries ran out, but like, man, I love his game. I don't know, like, how familiar are you guys with him, and or like, do you guys feel the same way I do about Dante?
Not I'm not super like familiar with him. Like I've never really followed him specifically too much. But like looking at his stats now, they're a lot lower than I thought they were. Just like points wise. Like I don't know if he's typically a point scoring defenseman, but I mean at BU he was. But so I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of surprised that he's only put up over the last 104 games, he's only put up 23 points.
Dude, yeah.
So I don't know, but he is still only 23. So like he's still on the younger side. I've never heard anything bad about him, and you know a lot more about him than I do. But I hope over these next 2 years in this contract he maybe like doubles that point output.
He's a first
or
rounder.
at least.
17 overall. What was it? 2016. 17th
2016,
overall.
yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. I just thought he really AIDS. What do you think about the fella?
So I don't know too much about him either. I will say, he is still fairly young. He's only 23 years old. But seeing his time in Nashville, definitely with how, highly touted he was and going so early in the first round, I mean, not early, but like mid first round, definitely could see him or can see him bringing more to the table than he has already. Now, that's not to say that he won't, because again, 23 years old, obviously this little contract is kind of like not a prove it deal, but like all right, you got 2 more years. What can you do for this team that's kind of like a bubble team, kind of struggling to find the direction, whether they want to, make that move to go to playoffs, to be that playoff team, and attack it in the whatever window they have, or they have to decide, whether they want to go down kind of a rebuilding, restructuring route. So I think definitely room to grow, room to improve. Will he? It's all there for him. He's got the time, he's got the skill, but it's just a matter of, is he going to do it? And, is Nashville the team to do it too? Like, should he go somewhere else? Should he move, maybe instead of signing this 2-year deal, maybe he signs a 1-year deal, does what he can in Nashville, and maybe he goes somewhere else. But I get not wanting to necessarily leave the team that drafted him. So it'll be interesting.
The other thing too, specifically with him in Nashville, is this is a team that also just lost Ryan Ellis. So I mean, they still have Yossi and Ekholm there as kind of your big two. But I mean, who's really going to step up and fill that third, fourth guy role on the back end? And maybe that's kind of what they're looking for him to do here, and something that can motivate him to do that.
And just like Darnell Nurse, like, he's got all the skill. Like, he can be that top player that Raff, I know you thought he would be, and I'm sure most other people thought he would be too. All the tools are there to build the shed. It's just whether or not, he's going to do it or not. So,
agreed, fellas. I'm rooting for you, Dante. Maybe we'll get him. He was hitting me up a few days ago, wanting to come on and stuff. I just told him, buddy, like,
relax.
I'm recovering. It's the off season. Like, hit me back there in the fall.
Be a top 3 defender, and then we'll talk.
Yeah, give me Yossi in the pod, and then we'll talk. God, that'd be so sick.
I don't know.
Imagine that. Just talking to Roman Yossi.
Yeah.
That'd be
cool
cool.
accent. That'd be really nice.
I was just gonna bring up a team that's still just kind of quietly making moves here and there is the Kraken. They signed Vince Dunn to a 2x4 and then Marcus Johansson to a 1x1.5. 2 guys with playoff experience. Johansson had that deep run with Boston, and then Vince Dunn won the cup that year with the Blues, as well as they signed Schwartz and Grubauer. And so, I mean, I think if they're going to squeeze their way into playoffs, they're going for it. So
I like those signings too. I think
yeah, no, I like them. I like
Johansson
Johansson
just had Johansson just really had a down year in Minnesota. Surprising too, given that team success that we saw. I think he's really a really capable winger. A really nice middle six winger guy. We saw that on Boston firsthand, and man, was he a treat to have here. I think he can get back to it. I think, there's just nothing better than a fresh start. And, with Vince Dunn too, as I segue into him, who knows? He could have a Shea Theodore type thing with Vegas where, let go from his other team in the expansion draft. Wasn't really sure what he was before. Then they just sprout into this just amazing defenseman. And I think we've seen flashes from Vince Dunn where we're like, yo, this guy kind of has it going on. So like, who knows? He can sprout. I think by the end of this deal, I wouldn't be surprised if they lock him up big time money. Yeah. AIDS?
I agree. I completely agree with you guys. Another. I'm looking at the Kraken lineup right now. That's why I was a little distracted.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're good. Dude. Take your time.
Always pulling up the lineups. I love it.
Yeah, lineup guy.
I got to do that.
Guy.
I like to know. I'm a stat guy. I like to know what I'm talking about. I like to know, what I'm looking at and stuff. And that, So I love their like top six.
Yeah.
On again, Daily Faceoff, not sponsored. Top line is Gord, Schwartz, and Eberle. Ooh. That's dirty.
Yeah.
Right. It's just a very deep team. I love their third line of Wenberg, Tanev, and Appleton.
Who's with Donskoy on the second line?
McCann and Yarncroke, which again, like that's a decent line.
Yeah.
But I like that line. I really like their third line.
They need a superstar though. They need a superstar.
So
they need their Pacioretty. They need their Stone, which I know they didn't get right away, but it was via trade.
Here's what I was thinking, right? So I want to, transition into some of the free agents that are still out there that still are looking for contracts. A few notable ones. Let me pull them up right now. Few notable ones are Chara, if he's notable at all. Casey Cizikas, Devin Dubnyk in goal, Joe Thornton, Zach Parise, Kyle Palmieri, and Eric Stahl. So for the Kraken in general, I was thinking about a Zach Parise.
That was literally my first thought when you listed those guys' names.
I think Zach Parise, not a superstar, definitely had his issues in Minnesota the last 2 years or so. But I think those were more like management and coaching issues. I don't think it was necessarily game. I think it was just I think it
was I got a little inside scoop. I think he was a very self-centered individual. I'll put it that way. I'll put it, maybe not the best team guy to keep it easy.
Well, I'm just thinking if Seattle wants to make that run, because obviously they're stacking up to do something. They're going to be a very competitive team. You look at a guy like Zach Parise on that second line, right? Maybe push Donskoy to the third line, or maybe you put Donskoy on that fourth line with Blackwell, and who else did they have down there? They had Blackwell and Nathan Bastian on that left side. But I kind of like him. But no, anyway. I think a guy like Zach Parise would be a perfect fit in Seattle. I'm honestly surprised he in particular doesn't have a contract yet, because I think he's still got a lot of gas in the tank. But I think Seattle would be a good fit for him.
So are you talking more, I guess, in a way of like quantity over quality, where like, they don't really have their like superstar or like amazing top six, like, like an actual really good top six. It's just a really deep team of guys that are going to do their job. Is that what you're like that'll get them to the playoffs?
I think the team that they have currently is very, very similar to like the Islanders that we just saw in this, this past year, the Canadians we just saw, where there's no one there that's like the true, honest difference maker, both on, on the front end with your,
it's like stealing the show. No one's stealing the show.
And there's no like real shutdown defenseman too. Like you don't have a star on either or. It's just a lot of like very similar kind of like-minded guys in terms of like skill and grit and style of play, where they just run you down. They're not going to do anything flashy, but they also can put the points up. They can also score and play well together. So I would think you could go after a big guy, not that there's many left on free agency.
Yeah.
I think you could probably make a trade for one, but if you want to stick with that theme of being kind of a consistent all the way through all of your lines, kind of very similar, I think Parise would fit into that perfectly. Even Palmieri or Stahl too.
I like Palmieri there.
I think all three of those guys would fit in seamlessly in that lineup.
I think it all depends too on how Hackstall wants to utilize his squad. I wonder what what systems he's going to implement. How is he really going to use this team?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too familiar with him.
I know we've said it in previous episodes, and I mean, I'm still fully confident in it that this is going to be one of those teams like you guys kind of just got at, where they don't have much star power in offense, but they're gonna be a defensive team that wears you down and makes it very hard to score on them. And I think a lot of that is going to start with Grubauer and Drieger and net, that tandem, and then working your way up through that decor, which is pretty solid defensively. And then, yeah, like you guys said, the offense isn't crazy good, but it seems like it's going to be a group of guys that'll, go balls to the wall.
That's what you need. Just throw those balls at that wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which might not be a squad that's gonna, get you too deep in the playoffs. But you kind of compared them to the Islanders aides, who have made a couple deep playoff runs the last couple of years, but I think they're going to be similar to that style of play, maybe. But we'll see.
Yeah.
That's all I got, man. I have no idea what else to talk about hockey related.
That's the most social.
Cracking down.
This has been the most social I've been in a week.
Raff, did you just hear the joke that Brett made?
No, what did he say?
What?
You just made a joke, didn't you? A pun?
No, I didn't. What are you talking about?
What did he say? What does bastard say?
Well, you were having issues socially, and Brett was like, "Yeah, I'm starting to cracking down." You literally just said that.
Did I say that?
You
What
literally
are you
just said
about?
that. Just now.
I don't know
Is there
what you're
is there a liar?
I have no idea
We
what
can
you're
go
talking
back and
about.
watch the tape.
Yeah, we will.
Oh fuck! I forgot this was recorded.
You fucking motherfucker.
So Raff, I'm glad you recorded because I forgot to press record. So.
Oh my god!
All right.
Dash 30. It's Ovi. It is Ovi out here. Dash 30. But
You just went from
50.
plus 20 on your career to minus 200, like that. You're done.
PK
You're
Subban.
off the pod.
That's Ovi in one season.
You guys want to talk about like farts now?
You can talk a little bit about farts, yeah.
Dude,
I had a
this
good one this morning.
Dude, this has been a fart box. Just not leaving it.
Disgusting.
Dude, what do you want me to do? Noah hits different though. It's oxy farts.
You said that before. You said that after
Dude.
your first surgery.
Dude, I'm telling you, oxy farts they're like jockey.
Sounds like a band
Oh
name.
God.
No, dude, they're like, it's different, man. I don't know. It's fucked, man. I was having like really like outer body experiences when I was on it too. To just
What you on?
I just took like one. I don't really know what the milligrams was, but like the first night, I had a fucked up dream. I like the first night I get back from the surgery, I'm just like sitting there in so much pain. Like, and then I take the oxy and I'm like, all right, this is bearable. So I'm sleeping it away, and I have this dream where I'm like at a local pool, and like I'm in charge of like taking care of my sister, big brother, and then there's this dog that's just like chasing after me. So what do? I vividly remember this dream. I just like kicked the dog so far. Like, you ever watch Pokemon and when that like the like star team would get like kicked into like outer space and shit like that? It was like that.
Yes.
And then the dog like turns into just gets so mad it like turns into like Dogzilla and like laser beams and like shooting it around. And then like I'm just like frantically like running around trying to figure out what's happening. And it's just like I wake up in a cold sweat. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And I'm just in and out of my body. Like, and then like, I don't know, I'm like dreaming about dreaming. It's just, dude, that shit is fucked. That shit is so tapped.
Was that an oxy dream or
yes, it was an oxy dream.
or a stress dream about Randy?
No, fuck that dog. Stupidest dog ever.
You were so mean to that dog.
Nah, Randy's cool. Randy's he's chill. He's a cute dog, but he's just a diva. Nah, it was just an oxy dream, dude. Dude. Fucked. I don't know.
Yeah, so shout out to eye surgeries for hooking up Raff with Oxy.
Dude, I don't know, kind of like go into like what happened. Like, want to like hear about the procedure? Like what
I don't know. Sure.
Oh,
it's fucked, dude. It's just like
you can briefly go. Don't go into
just go into
detail,
so like
but-
I won't go into like the whole like side of it, but there's no needles or anything, which is good. But
I'd hope not.
But dude, they fucking like, I think they remember me from last time. So I was just bugging out the entire time. Like,
This guy again.
Here comes a lunatic walking through the doors. Like nothing's wrong. And
Chaining him to the table,
dude,
like just straps.
You know how you swaddle like a baby, like wrap it up into a blanket? They fucking swaddled me, a grown ass man.
Wait,
Like,
why?
they put a blanket over me and like tuck it in, put my
Like a
hood that I'm
burrito?
wearing.
Like they rolled
Yeah,
you
I was
up?
a full, and then like my arms are like crossed like a mummy, and I'm swaddled in this fucking like chair that like this, like medical chair that like goes all the way back, and I'm
Yeah.
just sitting there like I can't move, and I'm like these bastards, and it kind of feels nice though. I'm like, oh, this is like the most relaxed I've been in so long. Kill to be an actual baby right now, but I'm a 21 grown man right now, being swaddled, and they're like. I don't know. They like drip the shit on your eye, but I have to like look up. Like I can't feel my eye. This is like the weirdest part is they like are dropping drops onto my eye and also numbing drops at the same time, and they cover up my other eye. So my only perception, because I'm awake, my only perception is through the eye that they're doing work on. And like when they put the water, like the shit on it, like it's like yellow, so it feels like I'm drowning. And I'm like, this is just illegal waterboarding. That's all. That's what it felt like. Like it just feels like and I'm like hyperventilating because I'm like my fucking pea brain can't comprehend that I'm not actually underwater. So I'm like gasping for air. I'm like, like while it's happening, and the girl is like, "Want me to play some music?" And I'm like, "Yeah, fine, sure." Meanwhile, I'm like, "Yeah, put on a little baby, please."
Give me King Von.
Yeah, literally. And then she puts on some shit. It's like, what's that song? It's like, "I can be your hero, baby." And then she's just like, she put it on for her. She didn't give a fuck about me. That's what she listens to on the daily. And I go, great song. She's like, I love this song. Like this song was played at my my wedding and shit like that. I'm like, dude, fuck you. Shut up. I'm like panicking over here because I feel like I just want to rip my eyeball out. And she's talking about her stupid wedding. I'm like, dude, I don't care. Her daughter though, Assumption alumni.
Oh,
yo,
yeah.
Small world.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, what? Assumption College, pussy. Can't relate. University life now, bitch. What you know about that? What's your degree say? That says university on it. Hopefully we get it.
yeah. Hey, don't jinx it too early.
We got a whole year left. A lot can go south. A lot
could happen.
Yeah.
That's-
You guys have anything though? Any fart talk? No fart talk?
No, I feel like we covered that already.
I slept through my alarm this morning.
When's the last time you did that? 2012?
Dude, don't even remember. I honestly, so I think what it was, I don't even think I said it. So I get up at like 7:15 every morning because I have to be into work at 7:30. And so me and all the other students that live, in the building that work together, there's like 6 of us. We all walk down together. So we meet in the hallway. So
that's adorable.
I wake up this morning to one of the girls we work with. Her name is Sierra. I heard her yell, "Good morning." And I was like, I kind of perked my head up. I was like, that's weird. Like, why is she up so early? And then I heard my apartment door open and I was like, oh, I fucking overslept.
Oh,
so I tapped my phone. Another one of the girls I work with, her name is Sam. She walked into my room and she was like, hello, is anyone in here? And I was like, yep, I just woke up. And they were like, oh, okay. So I said, bye. And they left. And I got to work in 10 minutes and then gave a tour. So.
Damn.
Wow.
That's a working man right there. Independent man.
I woke up at 8, have to be into work at 8:30. Woke up at 8:26 and proceeded to get to work at 8:40, give a tour at 9 and a tour at 11. How are you?
Tell the little story. You know the story.
This is my favorite story ever. I swear
it has to do with you, Raff.
I told this. I think I told this story like 2 episodes or 3 episodes ago too.
Oh, you might have.
So
Shit, my bad.
I'm gonna tell it again anyway.
no,
'cause
tell
I
it
know
again. I just
love to
forgot.
hear it, and everybody else does too. So one of the first few weeks of school at Assumption, me and Raff just met each other. It's probably the 3rd week of school.
Right after I tried dapping you up when we met, and then you gave me a handshake, and it was just
I went,
tough.
you know what? But we're still here. So
Fucking rights.
so probably the 3rd week of school. It's I think it's probably like a Monday or a Wednesday, whatever. Raff has an 8:30 class or a 9:30 class.
Yeah, it was 9:30.
9:30. So I had an 8:30 though. So I went to class, got back at got out of whatever, got back to the room at just before 9:30, and I walk in and there's Raff sleeping in bed. So I close the door, and he kind of picks his head up in his half asleep voice. He goes, and I go, morning. And he goes, morning. And I go, what time's your first class? He goes, so comfortably and happily, he goes, 9:30, and like rolls back into bed. And I go, it's 9:27. And you shot up so fast. And we're like, what? And I was like, it's 9:27. You got ready so fast that morning. You were out of the door in 2 minutes.
I made it. I ran.
That's what you texted me later. You're like, yeah, I made it to class by 9:30.
Yeah.
And I was like, no shot.
That's the perk of having a school that legit has like 4 people at it, is that everything's so close together that I just ran there like half naked, probably still got there. The worst part about that though is that class. We have quizzes at the beginning of every single class, every single one. And you know me, I'm just a loser. So I just I'll study before a little bit, like the night before, like you're supposed to do. But I always get there a little bit early to study. I was running there to take a quiz, probably bombed it. I don't even remember. It was at the point where I was like, I took it. That's all I can ask for at this point.
Yeah. No, that's my favorite story to tell.
Just 9:30.
It's how comfortably and happily you were when you said that. 9:30. It's 9:27.
I should have known right when I saw you that that it's not good. Like the fact that you're back in the room is not good. It's just such a pea brain, dude. Oh, that I don't understand. Like, I'm just never understand waking up for class. I don't have class till like 11 this whole semester, every single day, like 11.
I think every day I start at either 10 or 10:30, which is beautiful.
Brett, we have a class this semester
do have a
together.
class
We've
together.
never had that before.
Never.
That's
Me and Aids have one together this semester too.
Oh, let's go.
2 of my 5 classes is with one of you. That's awesome.
That's
I've had one. I've had a couple with Aids before, actually.
Spring semester, we're all taking a 100 level course.
100%.
And just
do Spanish with me. I
fucking
haven't
around.
taken Spanish.
Dude, I'm not taking
no.
Spanish.
Dude, well,
I already
don't know
took
what to tell you.
French like 3 or 2, whatever.
I already have like my classes that I have to take to graduate.
Fuck it. We'll do
Okay.
something.
I mean, I have a theology and philosophy in there, upper level. If you guys,
I'm already done with
Already
those.
done.
Fuck that.
dude. Fuck both of you. If you think
Sorry
I'm
for being a proactive scheduler.
dude, all you eat at school is Papa John's and mozzarella sticks. Do not talk to me about you being proactive.
Oh, you're one to talk about the mozzarella sticks, bud.
Fuck.
How many people listening to the pod know that story?
Like maybe one.
Oh,
It's probably just John Sip. Who, by the way, our most loyal and dedicated buddy Pat. I want to give him a shout out actually right now, because going into when this drops, it will be Wednesday night, and we have a playoff game. I'm getting this eye patch off and going right to the rink because we have big playoff game against this team that we have not beat once. And he's hyping me up. He's like, we need you fresh legs. And I'm like, dude, I'm telling the doctor, I'm going out there. I'm going to go, doc, can I please snap around these outlet passes to John Sepp, captain, confirmed goal scorer? And he's going to say, yes. I'm going to say, thank you. And I'm going to go there. And John Sepp, the #1 Buddy Pass podcast fan, we're going to connect and make some magic. We're not going home tomorrow. There's no way we go home.
I'm rooting for you.
Yeah, so just a quick shout out to John Sepp because he's always texting me about the pod. He doesn't sugarcoat it either. He gives the hard details.
I hope he does.
He does.
We need that.
Accountability. He's a big believer of that. But all right, that's all we got. That about wraps up episode 33, Char episode for this Buddy Pass podcast. I don't know. Check out Masshole Perspective. Can probably say that fucking 33 times now. Just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Listen to us. Watch our YouTubes. buy shit from us. Just tell us we suck. Tell us we're good. We say
Venmo
the
is
same thing
funny.
every fucking week, dude. I don't know why people aren't doing it yet.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's like, get a clue, please, for the love of God. But yeah, until then, have a great weekend. I think people are probably going to be inching back to going to school, so have a great semester. I know you'll probably still be listening to us when you study for Fartology 101. But yeah, to everybody that's been listening, thank you. And yeah, fuck you. Peace.